Everybody else is set? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Smithtown Planning Board is now in session. Would you please join us there for the Pledge of Allegiance? Carl, please.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We thank you. Please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. The first item on the agenda, the Planning Department recommends the following items for adjournment as we have insufficient information to act upon them. Part 1, Item 1, number 2011-01, All Seasons Motor Lodge. Item 2, number 2011-10, Anthony Lettieri. Item 3, number 2009-05, FB4 Realty. Item 4, number 1059, Prestige Estates. Item 5, number 1000A, Soundview Estates. Item 6, number 773, Scholar Estates. Item 7, the 288 application of Olivia Estates. Item 8, the letter of interpretation for the Polish National Church. Part 2, Item 9, number 1143, Gemini Landing. Item 10, number 2010-06, KVC Holdings. Item 11, number 1053A, Berg Estates. Item 12, number 911A, Glen Hill Northern. Mr. Chairman, these are the items the Planning Department recommends for adjournment.
Thank you. Is there anybody here representing the applicant or the wants to be heard there on the adjourned Gemini Landing? Or any other none? Hearing none, a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the items read.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Mr. Chairman, we'll now move on to Part 3 of the agenda, Item 13, number 1062, Mill Run Estates. Mr. Chairman, this application was brought before the board at the April 4th Planning Board meeting, at which time it was adjourned pending an on-site inspection. I believe the board members have completed their inspection. Additionally, planning has been in contact with the applicant regarding recommendations for the request to make the waiver. And the applicant does agree that they would like to make the request for the waiver of the reduction of the front yard. So the Planning Department has prepared a resolution for that. The following resolution is presented to the Planning Board by the Planning Department. Be it resolved that the Planning Board hereby approves the request of James Fuller of 2002 Legal Way to waive the condition of a 40-foot front yard setback to 36 feet for Lot 4 within the subdivision known as Mill Run Estates, number 1062.
Is there anyone here representing the applicant? Anything on the board? Oh,
Good
sorry,
evening.
go ahead.
Yeah, James Fuller, 10 Winmar Way, Center Reach, New York.
You understand there the recommendation?
That is fine with me.
Members of the board, any question? The resolution, please.
In the matter of Mill Run Estates, number 1062, motion to adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
I put that in our update. Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda under Part 3, Item 14, number 1137, Stanton Platt. Mr. Chairman, this application was brought before the board at the March 21st Planning Board meeting, at which time it was adjourned, pending a request by the applicant's counsel for a recalculation of the performance bond for the approved subdivision. The engineering department has completed the performance bond calculation, and we have updated the memorandum for the board. Subsequent to the April 4th, 2012 Planning Board meeting, the Planning Department discussed the applicant's request with the Engineering and Highway Departments. The Highway Department has no objection to the request since the applicant has entered into a contract with the Highway Superintendent for all required public improvements along James Place. The applicant has submitted payment in the amount of $3,350 for the improvements to be completed by the Highway Department. The engineering department has no objection to the applicant's request and has drafted a revised performance bond reflecting the reduction of the applicant's payment to the highway for the required public improvements. The planning department has no objection to the applicant's request and offers the following resolution for the board's consideration. Be it resolved that the planning board hereby approves the request of Donald Stanton to reduce the amount of the performance bond to be posted to the town for the subdivision known as Stanton Plat number 1137. And be it further resolved that the chairman of the planning board be authorized to sign the performance bond estimate for the map of Stanton Plat number 1137 in the amount of $550, establishing an inspection fee of $536 previously posted and a cash deposit of $500 previously posted. Therefore, the amount of the performance bond to be posted with the town shall be $50.
Thank you. Anyone here representing the applicant?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant. I just want you to repeat that last number, Blaze, the performance bond amount,
$50.
50?
50.
Can't argue with that. Thank you.
Anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this? Hearing none, a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion in regards to Stanton Plat number 1137, that we adopt the resolution as read by the planning board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So ordered.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda under Part 4, Item 15, number 1096, Maloney Estates. The applicant requests final approval to subdivide a 2.484-acre lot into 5 single-family building lots. The map of Maloney Estates was granted preliminary approval by the board on August 17, 2011. The proposal consists of 2 tax lots, which are rectangular in shape, and has road frontage on an existing town road known as Lincoln Avenue, giving access to lot number 1, and the applicant proposes to create access to lot numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5 by constructing a cul-de-sac to be known as Maria Court. The property contains an existing 2-story dwelling on lot number 1, an existing 2-story dwelling on lot number 3, and 3 additional lots are proposed. The property is zoned R10, single-family residential, 10,000 square feet minimum. The applicant's request to subdivide the property into 5 lots meets the density requirements for the R10 zoning district. As noted in the preliminary approval, variances will be required for all 5 lots. Lot number 1 will need a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 8 feet for the existing dwelling. Lot number 2 will need a variance to reduce the required minimum front yard setback from 40 feet to 25 feet. Lots 3, 4, and 5 will need variances to reduce the required minimum front yard setback from 40 feet to 35 feet. The planning board may grant these variances per section 322-30.4 of the town code and will appear in a table of modifications on the final map to be filed with the Suffolk County Clerk. Also noted in the preliminary approval, the applicant was required to contact the Director of Traffic Safety to discuss an acceptable name for the proposed cul-de-sac. Traffic Safety noted in their memorandum dated December 8, 2010, that they were opposed to the naming of streets after people's first names due to the fact that the signs, are frequently stolen. The final map shows the name of the proposed cul-de-sac as Maria Court. Therefore, the applicant should contact Traffic Safety to discuss the renaming of the cul-de-sac prior to presenting the final map for filing. The Engineering, Highway, and Traffic Safety Departments recommend approval. The Department of Environment and Waterways has reviewed this map and concluded that there have been no substantial changes to the project as originally approved. Therefore, no further environmental review is necessary. The Planning Department finds that this map is in compliance with the preliminary approval and that the variances requested meet the standards as noted in section 322.4 in that, 1, it would not produce an adverse impact on adjacent properties. 2, the request to reduce the front yard setback for lot number 2 while more than 10% of the standard is confined to this lot only and is uniform within the development. 3, while the variances could be eliminated, they provide for a better design. 4, there is no adverse impact on the environment. 5, finally, while the difficulty was self-created, the variances meet the other standards for variances. The Planning Department recommends the approval of this final map and offers the following resolution for the board's consideration. Be it resolved that the Planning Board hereby approves the final plat of the subdivision known as Maloney Estates, number 1096, subject to the following conditions. Mr. Chairman, conditions A through J are standard conditions placed on all subdivision applications. Condition K is specific to this application. The applicant shall contact the Director of the Traffic Safety Department to discuss an acceptable street name to be used for the proposed cul-de-sac prior to the submission of the final map to be signed by the Chairman of the Planning Board and filed with the Suffolk County Clerk. And be it further resolved that the Chairman of the Planning Board is hereby authorized to sign the final plat, thereby approving said plat after the Town Board has posted a performance bond of satisfactory form and amount. And be it further resolved that the conditional approval of said final plat shall expire 180 days after the date of this resolution and within 90 days after the Chairman of the Planning Board signs the final maps of this plat, unless said office of the, skip that part, sorry. If the board favorably considers the applicant's variance request, the Planning Department suggests the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Planning Board hereby modifies the building zone ordinance of the Code of the Town of Smithtown for the subdivision known as Maloney Estates number 1096, as shown in the table below. This table shall be shown on the final map to be filed in the office of the Suffolk County Clerk. Mr. Chairman, this is the Planning Department's recommendation for Maloney Estates number 1096.
Thank you. Is there anyone here representing the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant. And we're in agreement with all of the recommendations of the Planning Department. But I can't for the life of me figure out the Traffic Department now coming up with a, which is, I don't believe in any ordinance in the town, saying that because kids, I guess it's kids, I shouldn't say that, steal signs, that now we can't put a name on the sign. The developer, in this case, wants to put his deceased wife's name on the road. Now, if you think about all the streets in the town of Smithtown, half of them are named after animals, birds, and so forth. Half of them are named after people, first names and last names. So I don't believe, number one, they have the authority to even talk about it, let alone this board make it a condition that we have to go now to traffic, and traffic's going to tell me what name we should put on the property, the street. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't think there is an ordinance that requires us to do that, and it's been traditional that the developer puts a name on the street. So I asked the board to reconsider that. There's nothing in the ordinance that requires anybody that is a developer of property that they can't put, you know, a first name. I guess I could think of 100 of them if I had the time to do that, and I'm sure you could, Mr. G. They're all over the place. Why should we now have this new rule, which is not given the blessing of any ordinance or statute in the town?
Frank, response, please.
First off, this is not the first time we've encountered street name changes. And we've gone through this before, that both street names should be approved by the three departments most impacted: post office, traffic safety, and building department. And what we've done is we try to, there is something in the ordinance, I can't put my finger on it right now, that does address the fact that we're supposed to have an orderly name for streets.
What is that, orderly?
Orderly, some sort, there has to be an orderly way of naming the streets. This has been a a frequent request that has been given by the Traffic Safety Department, and the board has honored it in the past. If the applicant wishes to honor the deceased wife, which we could understand, then I would recommend that the name change be the full name for the person rather than just Maria Court. And I don't think traffic would object to that then, because then the sign would probably not get stolen, if that's what they really would like to do.
I don't know that, you know, somebody would want to buy a piece of property with Barbara Tremarco's name, Barbara Tremarco Road, or Marie Maloney, but I guess that would be up to Mr. Maloney. Is that all right? Okay. We did have another suggestion. We would post, they usually steal the sign, not the post. So if the traffic department was so worried about it, we'll put $300 or $400, we'll give it to the traffic department, and when the sign gets stolen, they have the money to buy another one. I mean, you know, we're getting such, we've turned into a society of such rules, and some of them get to be so stupid that, you know, we're just, how many years? 5, 6 years for me to do this subdivision for another reason, which I won't get into. And now, you know, we're talking about a name. It just, it boggles my mind that we get involved with such trivia. So.
Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to be heard on this? I heard the gentleman's comment. He doesn't have any objections there to the Marie Maloney. Is that correct?
That was my wife's name. She passed away. She found the property, sir, a while ago.
Come on. Go ahead. Give your name for the record.
Name is John Maloney, and my wife and I bought the property about 25 years ago, and she passed away about 15 years ago, and I would like to have her name on there, because she actually found it, and I'd like to have her name on the thing, and I'll put up more money. If you steal the sign, I'll put another sign up.
Well, Mr. DeRubis says there should be no objection to putting Marie Maloney on there. Do you mind that?
Well, like Vincent said, would that be nice to have my last name on there?
We have streets that have, like Lieutenant John Olson's. We have full names on other streets in town, so it's not unusual.
Well, if that's the way it has to be, but I would rather have just Marie's Court, and I would put up a bond to pay to any signs get stolen. But nobody steals signs.
Mr. Chairman, I would just note on the record that we said that the applicant should meet with the Traffic Safety Department. If the Traffic Safety Department finds their proposal for a fixed sign or a bond on their sign acceptable, we'll meet with the resolution. So either, you know, this is, normally we don't argue over these things. Either I'm suggesting the full name change in order to circumvent which is traffic safety's objectives, or meet with them and see if you can come up with a solution.
Okay.
Okay. Seems foolish there, but again, it's
Just one more thing, and I'll shut up tonight. You're really giving up your authority because you rule on this, not the traffic safety guy, not Mitchell Crowley, right? He doesn't.
Well, if there's an
he
ordinance.
generally doesn't do that. So, I mean, it's this board. If the board tells us that's what we have to do, that's what we'll do, but
You're saying, Mr. Tramarko, that there's no ordinance that prohibits such a name that you
Right.
know of in the town of Smithtown.
that's right.
Is he correct?
That's correct. There's no, but however, it is, I think the board will agree that we have street names and there should be some sort of orderly pattern for street names. And what the traffic safety director has maintained is that street signs with people's first names on them get stolen. And this is a frequent occurrence, and it does have implications with regard to things like emergency services and the like. And it is a reasonable request by, I think, the traffic safety director so that signs remain secure. What Mr. Maloney has proposed is some sort of either bond or other security which might satisfy traffic safety department. If they are satisfied, then that, I think, would be appropriate. But I do think that there is a legitimate reason why the traffic safety department has made this.
Yeah, but if we pass this resolution as it's written now, we're putting it in that traffic safety department's hands. And if they say, yes, you could do it, he'll be able to do it. If they say, no, you can't do it, you won't be able to do it.
They
Correct?
could always come back to this board if they feel that there should be another.
Not after 5, 6 years. I don't want to come back to the board ever
Well,
again.
the part that I don't quite understand about names is, the other day in the newspaper was a name, Lincoln, there's 5 or 6 Lincoln Streets in Smithtown.
And the same number of Washingtons and et cetera, yes.
So that I don't understand the logic of some of this at all. If there was a question where it was a Marie Court right next door or something, I could understand that, but is there a Marie Court near next to where this application is?
I don't know.
Are there other streets in town with first names only?
Yes.
How many? Can you give a ballpark?
A lot.
I would say, it wouldn't, if I was to tell you 100,
So how can we tell them they can't do it? There's 100 other ones.
one of the things that is normal in government is just because you did it in the past, you learn from what your past practice is, and therefore you're permitted to change the rulings if you find out that it becomes problematic. Just because there's 100 street names, let's say, doesn't mean you have to continue if you know that it causes a problem. And I think it's reasonable. This is, by the way, the third traffic safety director that has, since I've been a director, that has had this policy. We've had this, we've been trying, I think for the last 20 years, we have not had subdivisions with these type of names on them.
You know, we just did Esther Court, or it's coming up, and same objection came about, and the street that goes to Esther Court is, I forget the name, maybe it's Jane or Susan Street, and that was fine, but, you know, Esther Court wasn't. It
Is
just,
there any movement to rename all these streets that
No,
is
it's
such a
not going to
danger?
happen.
Do you have any specific facts on how often these street signs get stolen?
No.
I have no problem with
I have
this
no problem
gentleman
with it
naming
either.
this.
I would make a motion to delete the last condition and pass the resolution without that condition.
I
Is there a
agree.
second for the motion?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
thank you.
All right, now we'll handle the resolution. On the
So
application.
K is stricken from the resolution? You're welcome.
You're welcome.
K is stricken.
For the final plat, a motion on the final plat for Maloney Estates 1096.
In the matter of the final plat of Maloney Estates, number 1096, motion to adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
Subject to K
Subject-
being deleted, correct?
Oh, I thought that was a separate motion. Subject to the,
Condition K.
being deleted, right?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. On the building zone ordinance modifications.
In the matter of number 1096 Maloney Estates, motion to approve the variances as listed in the table of modifications.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So ordered. On the performance bond, please.
Be it resolved that the chairman of the planning board be authorized to sign the performance bond estimate for the map of Maloney Estates in the amount of $136,480 and establishing an inspection fee of $10,918 and a cash deposit of $3,000. Therefore, the amount of the performance bond to be posted with the town shall be $133,480.
Motion on the performance bond.
In the matter of number 1096 Maloney Estates, motion to approve the performance bond estimate as recommended by the planning department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So ordered. We thank you. Any action needs to be taken on this letter from Mr.?
Mr. Chairman, the last item on the agenda was the letter received from the applicant for Gemini Landing requesting an adjournment for this evening. He was unable to attend. He would like to come back to the next planning board meeting scheduled for May the 2nd.
Motion necessary?
I think we adjourned it already, right?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.